I'm back. I don't know, I'm having fun with this. Anything to get out of this low vibrational energy that this coronavirus and all of these fears are bringing. I'm ready for anything that's going to lift my vibration, right? And my vibration gets lifted whenever I work with oracle messages and whenever I'm working with spirit, because spirit is, I'm a channel. And so spirit works through me to pass messages, and to make them as clear as possible, in whatever way they're supposed to be known or heard. So I wanted to do this last version, this last segment for our twin flames who are in separation. And like I said, I don't really like to use even the word twin flame because it's just a divine connection. We're connected and chosen to be in divine union with our divine counterparts. I'm not going to get into all of that right now because there's so many different versions of twin flames and the labels that people use and how they're expressed. But twin flames, as I mentioned earlier, is really two divine counterparts coming together and to become one, to become whole. So we're given all kinds of tests and challenges, clearing of old programming and things that have held us back. It stopped us from moving forward, right? Because we have a big purpose in the world. Our purpose is to spread awareness, to teach unconditional love. So in order for us to get to that place, we need to be cleared of all our shit. And not only our shit, but all of the shit that we've been carrying down. So we are connected, and we will go through all kinds of. It's the toughest journey to be on, but well worth it at the end because we really are going to be shining our lights really bright out there to the world. To help and to guide and to assist and to teach and to bring about awakenings, teaching people, helping people to remember who they are, to awaken to who they are, and teach them how to release the things that they need to release so they can become who they are meant to be, right? We have a really big purpose. So our journey is the toughest, unfortunately. it's the toughest. So there's a lot of times when twin flames will go into separation. Many times. Sometimes we go into separation for years and years, in and out of separation for years and years and years. I know some twin flames who've been in on the journey for 20 years and haven't come into union, or 15 years, or 10 years, or 5 years, or 4 years, or 3 years, or 2 months, right? And there's this back and forth because we're just pushing and triggering each other to the point where we have to let all of this stuff be released, so that we can unite as one and complete our missions together. And it doesn't always happen in that lifetime. Like, it may not happen in this lifetime. It may happen in another lifetime. I know it's supposed to happen in this lifetime because this is my last life. It's my last life. So, there's work to be done, but it's been exciting to also I've been, and I think I mentioned in the other videos, having a lot of twin flames who are coming to me for Reiki. So it's so interesting to see this journey and how it unfolds and what it becomes. So let's see what happens. So there's lots of reasons for us to separate, the back and forth stuff. So the card that popped out for part of this separation that a lot of twins are in, it was the card of temptation, the devil card. Temptation. That is really the biggest trigger, right? The biggest trigger. We're still held and bonded to certain aspects of our lives that are low vibrational or negative, that really need to be cleared. And if they're not cleared, I'm going to tell you right now, the divine will come in and shake your world up so that you can get to that place of clearing it. Because like I said, we have a big purpose. Not to say that other people don't, but the twin flame divine counterpart journey is major. It's important. But every relationship that we go through in our life is important, right? It teaches us something. It teaches us something about ourselves. We learn from every experience that we go through, every relationship that we go through. We learn something about ourselves. We learn what we want, what we don't want, you know? And a lot of divine counterparts don't even come into union, in this lifetime, or who knows, because they're not willing to heal. They're not willing to make the changes that they need to change. A lot of them are stuck in codependency, addictions, things that they've carried down, things that they've experienced in their lives. So they get stuck in this low vibration and they don't know how to get out of it or choose not to get out of it. So a lot of times that can be some of the reasons why we will go into separation, right? So temptation, the devil card. Through this card, addictions and self-limiting behaviors are being addressed. Yes, they're being addressed. This is a time when you or someone else in your life may be placing too much emphasis on the material physical world and its pleasures. Even though we're born connected to the divine source, we have a tendency to pull away from what was once natural. Oops. Sorry. I dropped. When we become disconnected from spirit, the source that once nourished us, it's often replaced with a different supply or substitute. In other words, the connection is then forged with food, alcohol, nicotine, codependency to someone, or even work. Hence, the term workaholic. Many of us spend our lives trying to fill the void that was created when the link to the divine was broken. The temptation card is calling you to take a hard look at life and ask yourself, where in my life am I suffering from addictive behavior? Is there negative thinking or behavior that's causing the life force to seep out of my soul? Are the people and relationships in my life giving me energy, or are they draining it? Learn to embrace your fears and all of the doubts so that every situation in your life becomes a learning experience. Gaining the knowledge that the physical world teaches will help you to transcend to a higher spiritual awareness. There you have it, right? So there's different aspects of our lives that we need to heal. And every one of those experiences that we go through is a learning lesson for us to raise our vibrations, to release, to heal, to become better versions of ourselves. It's just recognizing when it's happening and not repeating that pattern over and over and over, because that's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to learn whatever it is that we're supposed to learn, connecting with spirit, the divine, and allowing them to guide us, to listen, to be open to it. But again, like I said, most people, in this journey, some are not ready to get to that place, They will eventually when the time has come. But it doesn't mean that we sit around waiting for it to happen. This whole journey is about us working on ourselves, standing in our power, in our strength, loving ourselves unconditionally. When we can get to that place, and all of that comes with the lessons that we're learning through all of those experiences. When we can come to that place of being in balance with ourselves and synced with ourselves, that is when most unions will happen. But both parties have to be at that place, that soul connection, right? We have had to do our work. We have to clear whatever we need to clear before it can be a true union, right? Otherwise, you're just going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I know it's part of the journey, but it does get very exhausting and tiring. We should not stop our lives waiting for it to happen. Again, this process is more about you doing the work that you need to do for yourself, for you, okay? You have to be in alignment with yourself. You need to have unconditional love for yourself. Only when you get to that place will there be a divine union, and we will connect with our counterparts. All right, our divine counterparts. But we have to do our work. We can't let all of this back and forth stop us or distract us. As difficult as that may be, we have to just keep pushing forward. We have to love ourselves more. And when we do work, our counterpart is doing work, right? So we're helping each other energetically. And when it's time, it'll happen. Just don't sit around waiting for it. If there's work that needs to be done, do it. Do it. Clear all the old baggage. If you're attached in a relationship, clear that energy, especially if you're not happy in it. You can't come into union until you have done whatever you need to do for yourself. And that means ending relationships, ending, whatever it is that you need to clear that is not part of the divine connection. You can't be in union or in connection with your divine counterpart if you still have baggage from an old relationship or you're in a relationship. You have to really know when it's time and what you need to do to help you get through it, right? So the other message that came through also, look at this. So ego plays a big part in a lot of the separation, especially with the divine counterparts, ego. And it mixes and matches. You got the females that'll be masculine, the males that'll be feminine, the vice versa. They go back and forth. We go back and forth. We have both. We have masculine and feminine energy within ourselves. But when this kind of divine journey, there is going to be times when we're in our masculine energy, and there's going to be times when we're in our feminine energy. It's trying to get the both of the masculine and both our masculine and feminine energy in sync and in balance when all can come together, right? So ego is a big part, and we need to release a lot of our ego thoughts, because that stops us. We don't need to kill it, because we need our ego. I believe we still need ego to push us forward, right? As long as we don't stay in that ego energy, we need to allow it to come down a few notches, right? We need to humble ourselves, come into more of a place of peace and balance, right? That's what we need to do. So ego, Archangel Jophiel, a false sense of entrapment, being overly focused on material things, negative or fear-based thoughts. So this is a big part of when there is separation in a divine connection. Ego plays a very big part in that separation. But as difficult as it may be, we still have to allow whomever is going through the ego part of it to heal that part of them, to release that part of them, so that they can come into balance with themselves and be more present and in connected in the connection, right? So ego does create a lot of false sense of entrapment, focusing on material things, negative and fear-based thoughts. All of this stuff is part of separation. And we go into separation when this happens because we still need to learn whatever those lessons are. We need to release those fear-based thoughts. We need to release the ego that's keeping us trapped, the material, not to say you don't want material stuff. Of course, material, we need it. But not if we're focused completely on that, right? It's all about unconditional love. Just being loving, connecting, right? On that level. Look at that. Love. Love. Love is the foundation of your existence, and you are just as worthy of receiving as you are giving love and compassion. While love can be a beautiful emotion, it is equally a form of energy that propels you through life. Absolutely. So we need that love to propel us forward on this journey. As difficult as it is, this is what is going to help us get through it. And that means releasing the ego and releasing. Like I said, we don't have to kill our ego because we still need it to push us forward a little bit. But the love, the love, the unconditional love for ourselves, unconditional love for our divine counterparts, that is what is going to propel us forward. But we can't get to that place until we heal all of the aspects, the shadow aspects of our lives that are keeping us stuck and stopping us from coming into union. So even if we go in separation, we can't stop our lives. We can't keep focusing on our other half, our divine counterpart. We need to focus on ourselves. That is the purpose of the separation. And a lot of times the divine will come in and create that separation. And that separation is being created by the divine because they're forcing us to take a look at ourselves, to look at these patterns and these behaviors that are stopping us, so that we can start making the changes to heal all of that. Because we can't come into union until we have healed all those aspects of our lives. We have to do a lot of shadow work. That's why I think in some twin flame journeys, divine counterpart journeys, they take so long because not everyone is willing to do the work, so they feel more comfortable staying in an old way of being codependent because that's how they function through life, right? But you don't want to be codependent. You want to be independent of yourself. You want to be able to function and focus and get through life on your own. It's about standing in our power and our strength, trusting ourselves, trusting the divine to guide us in the right direction. Union will happen when it is the right time. Divine timing is when divine says, okay, you've done your work, it's time to come together. And then it happens. Magic happens. And all the angels start to sing. We do our mission work. And whatever it is that we're supposed to be doing as partners. But I've been doing my mission work for a long time on my own. So when my twin comes into fruition and connects with me, we're going to be amazing. Right? All right. My beautiful divine souls. Those are your messages. And let me just pull a positive vibe card for fun, inspiration, and see what the divine has to say about this affirmation for you. Again, this is all about divine timing. This journey, this divine counterpart, twin flames. I don't like using twin flames. I don't know. It's something about that word. Journey is all being put together and brought together by the divine timing, right? So we are always being guided to your highest good. There you have it. Have an amazing evening, and I hope these videos lifted your spirit up a little bit more than where it's been with all of this fear-based energy that's been going on around, centered around this coronavirus. I hope that these messages helped to lift your spirits, and I will see you at the next video. Not today though, another day. I think I did enough today. I get my vibration up, right? This keeps my vibration going. Have a good evening, everyone.